We've got part of an old gas pump here, and I've got to do some brazing or nickel rod welding to it. But it's so corroded and pitted, I figured instead of just cleaning it with grinding it, he's going to restore the whole pump. So I might as well throw this in vinegar and get rid of all that yucky stuff. So I'll go in the house and throw it in there. The vinegar has done its job to take the corrosion off of it. After I weld it, I might soak it again just to give him a really pretty piece back that he can paint. But this is a really nice way to get all that stuff off so you don't have to do as much to it. I still got to grind it back and treat it with acetone before I start the weld. Kind of got an Assassin's Creed look to it though. Just thinking outside the box, of course. But yeah, we'll get that stuck together, and hopefully I can do it with a TIG so I can keep the weld lines small so it looks like a nice finished part still. In addition to this, there's another piece. Walk through the basement here. Flip on the light. Or two. Well, maybe this will work. He also had a valve on it that's broken. And I'm gonna, maybe I showed this, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna maybe just tack this together with a MIG welder just so it'll hold for the purpose of making a pattern. Pack it in sand and cast him a brass one. Let's see, yeah, this guy goes this way. Yeah. So now I've got it cleaned up, as I said, from the vinegar. So now I'm going to take my grinder and V him out really well. And there's a couple parts here. There was also this little handle that was busted up. So I previously tack welded it together and used it as a pattern to cast this bronze one, or brass one. And then I figured, just for extra insurance, I'd V it out, and since it's already tacked, I just weld this full too. I'm going to use 308 stainless wire because of its nickel content, and kind of give this a test go and see how well it's going to work for me. And if that looks like it flows nice and looks like it's working, I'll go ahead and do this piece. My other option is, of course, to braze it, but I'd rather weld it if at all possible. So, and of course it's cast iron, so I've got my rosebud out here, got my TIG welder, got everything hooked up off the truck, so I'll set up the camera and we'll get after it. Welded really nice, except for where the little grease burns off. I had to hold it back on there. I'm just lightly applying some heat to let it cool down as slow as possible. I think it's going to work. But that's pretty aggressive welding for something this size. It didn't go clink yet. That tells me I can weld the other piece pretty decently. Okay, we're all notched out, ready for the filler metal. First I got to preheat, and then I'll go to my tacks, moving around a lot. I've got this clamped on this corner so that it meets and flushes up on the edges. So I'll turn the other camera on now and see if this works. There we are, welded, both pieces. I haven't heard any tinking or cracking. Now I'm going to clean up this rough brass casting. Shouldn't take too long. Okay, there's the brass casting after a little bit of cleanup, and you can faintly see the square hole, the hole out there and the hole right here. I don't want to sand down anymore. I want to center mark those holes and kind of leave the square outline there so that I can file the opening that fits onto the valve. Once I get the holes drilled, then I'll finish polishing it up. With those parts, I haven't heard any cracking, and this is actually cool enough to touch now, and I haven't seen any signs of it failing. So I would, as far as I can tell, call it a success. I've got my lines marked out where the casting, how do I say this, where the pattern made marks in the sand for the holes, because it left little divots in the casting. So I've got those marked out, and I've got my holes center punched. Got all my bits and taps figured out. So now I'm gonna go drill my pilot holes over there at the drill press, and we'll go from there. Once I get this 5/16 hole here established, once it goes through, I can measure off of it with a caliper and put that little guy in there. And then once I get this one through, I'll size the closest bit to that I can, and then I'll take an air file. That's kind of a neat tool. I don't know if I've ever showed that before. And file it all out square till it fits back on the actual valve. I've been asked why I have two drill presses. And the first answer is simple. I had mine, Dad had his. When Dad passed away, I got his. But there's a couple more neat little things. One, this fits on the truck. I can take it with me. Two, that little bitty dinky bit doesn't fit in that chuck. It does fit in this one. So that worked out really well to get this little bitty hole in the focus. Everybody on YouTube has trouble with things focusing, but that little bitty guy. I'm very fortunate to have something in my shop that I have a lot of memories with him with, and I'm actually using it to build stuff like he did. So it's kind of a nice little piece. Quite a few things, and that was, I have his table saw too, and we bought that cement mixer together. Yeah, a lot of the tools I have were purchased while working with him or given to me by him right before he died. I had a time-lapse video of the tapping, or so I thought. I didn't hit the button. So yeah, there's the threads and the 2 holes that get threaded. Of course, there's our little bitty guy. And now this thing needs to be filed square to fit the shank of that valve, or the valve piece. That bit. And I got the side marked which one the handle points to. And on the old piece, I have this very helpful reference of up. So we'll commence that. First of all, I got to dig this out. Well, I'm sure you guys have seen little needle files, right? These little guys. And they work. They're just really slow. But the gizmo I have in here, shaky. I gotta get that. How about I do this goodness? And you can see me just open it. You still recording? Good. So, keep down in here. We have this guy. And I believe I have a wrench that fits him. Yep. So the idea behind this guy is a good square one in here. Well, we'll just take this one out. I don't know if I'm in frame. I can't see the camera. You just insert this little thing in there. Tighten the set screw down. Of course, we're going to oil him. And if a hand tool does it, a power tool does it faster. You really want to do something cool, put a chainsaw file on this thing. Not for sharpening a chain, but just for changing holes if you don't have a burr tool. That should work. Always good practice to oil just a drop. Maybe more than a drop. There we go. First drop was only half a drop. Okay, and now we'll go put this on the put this on the vise so you can see. It's going to be loud at first, but we'll clamp him down where I can kind of see what's going on with it. And we'll really noisy, but really efficient. Changed it out for a chainsaw file and then realized I did not have it tightened down. So it shot it out. I think my set screw is going bad. This may be just as fast, possibly quieter. And I can cut on the push stroke only. We're working our way toward that corner. It's elongating. Yeah, I'll just show you when it's square. And here it is finished. The ball, or the ball valve. Well, maybe it is. No, the handle. Anyway, the valve is finished. Pretty good. Let me set that in there. pretty good copy of the original. And then of course we have this A-frame thingamabob. Got that welded up too. So that one's done.